I think this could be one of the easiest entries into planche, whether you're a beginner or advanced. So yesterday I started to play with different transitions into planche. What I found was with the crow position, a commonly used one for a beginner, is it actually works really well to enter the planche from this position because your hip is already at the correct height in terms of the shoulders. Now I mainly played around with the straddle planche variations because that's where I'm at in terms of working sets. Now if you don't have a tuck planche yet, you could just hang around in this position, so trying to keep the arms as straight as possible and just do your hold times there, combined with band assist and other variations to try and get you away from the arms. But if you have a tuck planche already, you could just go from that crow position, so start in the bent arm position, straighten the arms, protract, see if you can get the legs to come off the arms, and then return back to that position. Now yesterday when I was doing it, when I came out of the planche position and went back into the crow, I actually added in some bent arm work as well. So I went from here up to handstand. And came back down again. Now you could either go for hold time, so you could work up to like 10-15 seconds in these positions, or you could visit them for a few seconds. So visit, go back, and you could do repetitions on and off. And then using the same techniques of starting that bent arm crow position, go into your tuck or advanced tuck. Now I'm not going to max out today because I did train this yesterday, but going into open tuck, frog position, and then just returning back to your crow in between each one. So you're trying to move in and out of the position instead of up and down. So a lot of time when you go into planche, you would start in a handstand, lower to planche, where you would start your toes on the floor and you have to push yourself up into the planche. So this one's a little bit different when you start in the crow position and your hips are already in line with the shoulders. The tricky bit is making sure you get into that protraction, so trying to round out at the top and through the shoulder blades, and make sure you straighten the arms all the way. Now I do have a separate video on the crow to handstand, but if you do want to work on it, I would just start with the eccentrics. So kicking up to the wall, butt on the wall, frog position, so bend the knees. Now try and get your low back to the wall. Now mid back, then you start to bend the arms a little bit. See if you can find your elbows with your arms. Now the head and the wall are clashing in that position, so you're not going to get into the full position like you would if you was doing it away from the wall. Obviously if you can do it freestanding, that's better. Exactly the same technique. Use that frog to help roll the spine down and see if you can find the elbows. You can then obviously open up to harder and harder progressions. I tried to go into a half lay position. Now that's not a position I'm very good in anyway, but when I've tried lowering from a handstand before, I found it really hard. Getting in from this position and trying to get your legs behind you is really hard at opening the hips. So this crow entry actually felt probably one of the easiest variations I've used for that half lay. If you don't have a slow controlled handstand push-up, you can still play with the crow to handstand, just use a bit of momentum, so as the shoulders go down, the hips come up and push. So there, shoulders down, head up, push. So that would probably be the easiest way to do it, but obviously you need to have quite a controlled handstand at the top. But I found it really good to combine two, that straight arm strength and the bent arm. If you are a little bit stronger in the press strength, you could go from crow to planche press to handstand. So crow, planche press to handstand. But obviously that's a little bit trickier from that planche position. And then once you have some sort of press handstand, some sort of handstand push-up, and you can go in between that crow and the planche positions, you can start to combine it and play around with different things. So if I come from this crow position, I could go up towards my press position and then back to my crow. So not so much planche, using more compression and flexibility to raise the hips straight up. And then you could just add like a bent arm component to that as well. So from there, straightening up, bending the arms through, up to your handstand, back down to your planche, back to your crow. So that really does open up lots of different options if you can go between that straight arm and bent arm positions. But have a go with those crow entries to planche. Let me know how you get on in the comments. Thumbs up and subscribe, we appreciate it, and I'll speak to you next time. Thanks guys.